All right. So, hi everyone, and welcome. I am definitely about to get real over the next couple of minutes. So, welcome. This is my first time doing a mid-year review and just really a reflection on what's happened so far in 2024 and ways that you could strategize and capitalize on the rest of the year. So, I'm looking forward to sharing some insights with you. Many of you have asked me to share an insights conversation or just give some perspective of what I'm seeing from my perspective and how just strategies and insights. A lot of people say they like how I strategize, they like how I capitalize on digital opportunities. And so I'm going to get real with you over the next 30 minutes as we discuss these things, right? And so, welcome. Thank you for joining me for this session. This is an annual mid-year review and planning workshop. If you joined me at the beginning of the year in January, where I did a workshop session just like this, to get you prepared for 2024. You're going to be very excited about this one because now we've already been halfway through. As of yesterday, we were on mid-July, July 1st, just kicked off. So you still have 6 more months to make things happen, right? And so we're going to talk about the trends that I'm seeing, how you could capitalize on what next, and exactly what I'm doing and how I want to share those insights with you as well. So without further ado, we are officially at the midway point of 2024. We're here 6 months in, we got 6 months out. All right. And some of you had some goals at the beginning of the year. Did you hit some of them yet? Are you on track? Are you trying? Did you fail? Did you succeed? Some of us are coming at different vantage points today. Right. But during this live session, I'm going to discuss some of the top trends that are going on today's economy and the market in general. And I will share with you 7 things that you can do to capitalize on it and crush your goals for 2024. I've actually written an article about this. I'm going to DM you guys with this on the chat feed where I talk about that. I actually feel like July is actually a better time to really execute on real goals because you have a more realistic picture of what's going on with you in the year and really the motivation in a shorter amount of time to really execute with the wisdom and lessons that you experience halfway through the year. So I'll share that LinkedIn article with you guys on the chat feed later on. But without further ado, let's dive into today's conversation. So by introduction, my name is Ntim. I'm a serial entrepreneur, global speaker, tech ecosystem builder. And of course, I'm a big personal branding advocate and influencer who help others monetize and build their personal brands online. I'm also a mother, a wife, and I have launched and built over 5 different companies in the past 15 years that I've been in the industry. And I've done a lot to really work with different stakeholders, different partners. And so I could tell you I've seen a lot and I'm exposed to a lot of different communities, especially because of the international nature and the scope of the work that I do. So I'm really blessed to be in a position to see things from afar, give a balcony view perspective, and also be vulnerable enough to share with you some insights and revelations that's come to me and my family and my businesses and my communities over the past couple of not just months, but a couple of years that I am currently capitalizing on today and that I want to share with you. So that way, as things get crazier and as we all could see, you are able to position yourself for actual sustainable success, not a periodic success, not just a fluke season, sustainable success. Because people are saying that, look, they've been winning and doing well, and all of a sudden they're hit at so many different angles with new issues, new challenges, new things that's happening in their lives. And I'm here to share with you there's ways to really systemize your processes to really get back on track. If you're feeling a little bit lost, this conversation is also for you. Okay. So, with that said, today the conversation is going to start with me just sharing with you what I'm seeing. Okay. I think everyone could speak to their vantage points when they're in the market, but as a digital creator, personal brand influencer, tech ecosystem builder, and all the multiple hats I wear across my multiple businesses that reside in multiple different cities, that do work in multiple different cities, I can share with you some of the things that I'm seeing and ways that you could also use my vantage point to succeed in 2024 and beyond. So let's dive right into this conversation, okay? So many of you know that I'm a global speaker. Many of you know that I've monetized my brand in so many different formats through events, courses, programs, and you see me build and scale and launch initiatives, events, programs, businesses over the past couple of years. Some of them fail, some of them succeed, but you've seen that I've just kept pushing forward and growing and scaling across multiple different fronts. And I'm very, very grateful for the experiences that I've had. But a lot of you don't see the work that goes on behind the scenes. How do I actually build an event lineup? How do I actually launch an initiative in a place like Haiti? How do I actually build a company from scratch and now works with Fortune 500 companies? How do I actually get positioned to be visible enough where major governments around the world are reaching out to me to speak and really teach their future leaders on a continuous basis? How am I doing this behind the scenes? And part of that is that we really do assess what's happening in the market and really have tangible, candid, and also very vulnerable conversations about what's happening. And I want to share with you some of the things that I've been seeing and ways that you could shift certain things that seem like challenges right now into actual opportunities for you tomorrow. Okay. So let's start with probably the biggest elephant in the room is the economic downturn that we know that's coming right now. Okay. We all know that the economy is going through and will continue to tighten in the next couple of months, right? And some of you are, maybe inflation is really kicking you in the butt. Maybe people are not buying as much if you have a business. Maybe you're experiencing seeing people deal with layoffs. Maybe you lost a job. Maybe you finding it very hard to get another job right now. Every single person is dealing with some type of friction with the economy right now. And the best thing that I could tell you right now for people who are feeling the ramifications of the economic downturn that we are experiencing right now, that you are going to literally build a strategy to deal with multiple streams of income to deal with this. Okay. You can no longer depend on one source of income, one source of opportunity, because we are finding that nothing is promised. Things are shifting so crazily with the technology that's happening, with more competitors coming into the market. And the market is very merciless right now. Right. And so you do have to, imperatively speaking, build a strategy for building multiple streams of income. It's just not an option anymore, right? And I remember a couple years back when people were talking about, doing side gigs, multiple hustles. It was cute. It would just look like you were just being busy, that you just was on the ground. Now, I have found that people who don't have multiple things in the pipeline are struggling to make ends meet, right? And I will tell you that life right now, so many things are just putting people out of the market as well. Whether it's, a health crisis, maybe someone in your family needs help, maybe there's just a random financial burden that came up. Like there are so many factors that are affecting your financial disposition right now. And if you do not create these multiple streams of income or strategies to really put yourself in a better light, you are not only going to be frustrated with the state of the world, but you're going to feel helpless with what is currently happening right now. I will tell you, having multiple streams of income will keep you sane during transitions, during periods of growth, during periods of learning, during periods of stress. Because I will say personally, in my experience, when I went on a sabbatical, especially after I had my fourth child. My businesses were also contracted. I'm in the tech space, so some of my businesses that were in the tech space faced significant changes, right? But my personal brand kept money flowing in. Right. So while other areas were just, really just steadily growing and not exponentially growing like they were before, my personal brand was just skyrocketing, right? Where I was getting virtual speaking engagement. I was, monetizing my content, monetizing my brand. And I will tell you that I was so grateful, not only for the trust that my audience put in me as an expert in my field, as a thought leader in the work that I do, but I was also so grateful for the foundations I built ahead of time to capitalize on when I needed it the most, right? And so I will say that you do not want to try to find opportunities and capitalize on opportunities when you are desperate, when you are trying to figure it out. Because what happens is you're not going to see certain strategies through to the finish line when you are stressed, when things are chaotic. It's now that you're realizing that things are going to get a little bit worse, that you try to capitalize and try to find the strategies and follow them through. And I could, again, speak from personal experience. Having multiple streams has been truly remarkable for my career and something that you definitely need to prioritize right now. Okay. The next thing I will say is regarding artificial intelligence. And I will say when we first started talking about things like ChatGPT, artificial intelligence, it was just really fun and everyone was excited. Everyone was scared. There was a lot of buzz around this, but now people have AI fatigue. Okay, we are tired of these bots on the internet. I know you feel my frustration as I speak to you right now. Okay, and I'm going to say this: artificial intelligence is not intelligent, it is generic at best. Okay, which means your creativity is going to be powerful now more than ever because you are going to win the content war that is coming ahead, and you need to capitalize on this massively. Because since the launch of ChatGPT, the internet has been overwhelmed with an explosion of AI written content, copy, website, articles, blogs, videos. People now fatigued, right? And we have now a trained eye for bots, automated scripts, automated experiences, generic, automatic, robotic messaging. We are tired of it, right? So what you're going to see is that the people who are going to succeed during this time frame is people who are going to be able to leverage their creativity and authenticity to write actual messages straight from the heart, right? It doesn't, and what's funny, the best copy is not even going to be winning right now. Just have an actual copy that's written from a human being is going to work more profoundly on the internet than this massive overload of AI content. And let me tell you something. You know when something is written by a bot. You know when something is like artificially created. You just feel it, you can see it, you know it, right? And again, we are fatigued with this. And so as a result, you're going to see a lot of people who are taking the time, that little final step, to look at artificial intelligence as a tool and not the automatic replacement of intellect, are going to do a lot better in this market. And I'll speak more to this later on for sure. Okay. The next thing that you're going to notice right now is transitional leadership at a massive scale. And it's going to scare a lot of people, and some people should be worried. Over 78 different countries and communities will be holding elections this year alone. Just this year. That is millions of people around the world will see either continuity, right, where governments will continue to maintain power, or massive transitions to their day to day because new leadership might take over. And as a result, that leadership transition, whether it's coming, whether it's going, is causing massive uncertainty amongst a lot of communities right now. Now, I'm not a political person. I'm not going to get in political debates, regardless of what side that you're voting for, that you're watching for, right? It means that people need to plan with uncertainty until those elections are held. Does that make sense? So you're going to find a lot of people are going to be in hoarding mode, standing mode. You probably noticed this in your market that a lot of people are just kind of like on standby and just waiting to see what's going to happen before making certain moves until in certain election cycles are completely completed. There's a reason for that because people just don't know what to do next. People don't know what to expect, right? So you're going to see even the private market, we have investments in the market. You're going to see that everyone's going to be responding and waiting to see how they're going to plan out 2025 and beyond based on the election results that's going to be happening around the world this summer, this fall, this year. So be mindful that you're not just looking at political transitional leadership power changes to be just something that's just more of a government conversation, but more of a more strategic planning tool for you to know what's next and how the market is responding to certain updates in the market. So definitely look out for that because that's going to be a huge thing that's going to affect us down the road. Let's go into ecosystems because as someone who is obviously the CEO of the global startup ecosystem, I am an ecosystem builder at heart. I have facilitated and launched tech hubs around the world, okay, in emerging markets across the Caribbean, across Africa. So I know when an ecosystem is failing, its entrepreneurs is failing, its tech leadership stakeholders is failing, its ecosystem enablers. I am seeing the signs faster than you could say Jiminy Crickets. It is crazy. Okay, what's happening in the startup ecosystems around the world. And what you're finding is that with the economy providing unfavorable conditions for money flow and prosperity and opportunity, more and more institutions will drop funding for programs and initiatives for startups, innovation, and tech communities. Okay, which means entrepreneurs will have to be extremely resilient during the next couple of years. Capital raising will not be easy right now because ecosystem support will be limited. And to be honest with you, disappointing. You're going to find that, ecosystems that you tapped into in the past, institutions that you reached out, even industry leaders that you reached out to in the past are going to disappoint the hell out of you right now, right? Because people are tight for time, money, and resources. And so entrepreneurs and innovators are going to have to get really creative, really resourceful, and really resilient. And as you could tell, the tech sector has been laying off thousands of workers since 2022, right? And so it's not just on the entrepreneurial side. Also, what you're finding is that the tech sector is struggling to even keep its top innovators in the market, right? And another thing that we're seeing, we as a human societies, we need to convene to operate and scale. We're people, right? People need to come together and convene. That's what makes us human beings, is our convening power to gather and grow and converse and really build connections, collaborate and grow and partner. And the fundamental product of that is events, right? During the pandemic, hey, I'm back. Hey, speaking of, I think, the line cut off like around ecosystem support, and then my tech just went crazy. Hopefully you guys are online. Hopefully you guys were able to still stay on. Thank you so much for giving me the heads up on the tech, right? But like I was saying, let me just dive right back in, right? So ecosystem support is changing right now, right? And that's affecting how we're able to really leverage. And the other thing I was talking about is the power of events. We are individuals as human beings. We need to convene, we need to connect, we need to build community. And I mentioned that the pandemic was a great visual to show people how important it is that we come together as a society, right? And the packaging of that is in the form of events. When we don't have enough events to bring people together, you see the economy start to slow. And really, in the ecosystem, facilitators like accelerators, incubators, VC funds, all these different players used to create events to bring people together. As corporations stop sponsoring tech events, what we're seeing is that they're hosting them in-house. They are now hosting their own series of events, their own history of content, right? And that is affecting a lot of the ecosystem builders who are known to have the communities that are usually traditionally underrepresented during these tech conversations. So you're seeing a lot of silos right now. And even VCs are sounding the alarm, right? That, being a founder right now is going to be very hard. The funding winter is here. It is happening, right? And even top performing companies are struggling to find the right resources. So the ecosystem and networks that you used to tap into are not, flowing right now. So you got to be very, very mindful of that as you plan out the rest of the year. Okay. The next thing I want to talk about is this is something that's really, really urgent that you really let this sink in really, really well is the emergence of content currency. The most crucial currency out there on the internet right now is obviously attention. The best way to get attention is through content, right? So content is a new form of currency. And it is now imperative to create, curate, and distribute content in order to stay relevant. You can no longer stay silent. Okay. So if you're not doing daily posts, then weekly probably is the second option, but some form of content pushing is going to be very, very important that you do because people are taking this on, not just as, people are not just taking on like just short form content, but also long form content is making a comeback. People are now starting to really dive into more long form conversation, right? People are starting to really want to have real classic information to really learn from and build from. And because of that, people are also, because there's so much content on the internet, and we know that content is currency and everyone is doing it, people are also tired, funny enough, of polished pitch programming, right? So you're going to see a huge comeback of authentic, unedited content where, like, I mean, perfect case example. I'm live right now. My tech just shut down. Like you just saw that just happen. It just happened in real time. But something about it, even though it might have been annoying for some of you, it's like this is real life. I like seeing real life, right? We're seeing so much fake nonsense on the internet. To see real life iterations of something, someone going through something that probably happened to you once, right? Like maybe your tech have failed you once. It makes me more relatable. It makes you more comfortable. And it makes everyone just feel like we could leverage these vulnerable realities together, right? So you're going to see a huge comeback of people really just going back to authentic content. And this is really big for those of you who feel like I don't have the budget to have a big ass mic, to have, a big media team, a big videography team, a PA team, this team, and that team. Just getting your phone and coming straight to camera and just being authentic and just going live is going to work tremendously for you right now because, again, people are tired of polished content and people want real content that really shows through vulnerability and openness from the person speaking. And also, audio and video is now king, right? Hence the reason why everyone's launching digital courses and everyone's launching a podcast, right? Similar to when I was younger, in the early, 2000s, everyone was launching a book, right? Because the highest form of your thought leadership, right, is you launching a book and crystallizing your thought leadership in a book that, people could buy and engage with, right? It's kind of like a window into your world. Now that video and audio is king, that leadership, avalanche is you launching a digital course or you actually launching a podcast, right? So that's what's happening in terms of the content revolution right now. Is very, very exciting because, even though everyone's trying to figure it out, not everyone has perfected it. So that's a great window of opportunity for you to capitalize on this new form of currency in the digital age. Okay. The next thing I want to say, speaking of the content currency that's in play, is the knowledge economy, right? The knowledge economy is here to stay and to scale. A lot of people are saying like they don't want to launch a digital course because everybody's doing it. And the knowledge economy is reaching trillions of dollars in the next couple of years. So content currency obviously creates the community, which now you could convert into customers and clients to monetize your thought leadership, right? And everyone right now, and you should too, is learning how to turn their knowledge into packaged products. If you do not learn how to do that, you are missing out on probably one of the biggest economic revolutions of all time. Okay. So just like the old days, like I said, everyone was launching a book to prove their thought leadership and career growth. Now people are launching courses, programs, podcasts, anything to crystallize and package their knowledge and expertise. People are doing that right now. This is the emergence of their knowledge economy. And you need to tap into it. The same way that people missed the dot-com boom and didn't launch any tech companies or was a part of the tech revolution that took place 20 years ago, this knowledge economy is going to be around for a full decade more cycle, if not beyond. It's part of the new currency that we're living in right now. So you need to really capitalize on it. And last but not least, I will say that the final thing that's really hitting people in terms of a major trend is probably this personal brand social contract that we didn't know that we signed 20 years ago as a society. Okay. I will say that once social media was born, we all technically signed some subconscious social contract that a personal brand persona will be active and engaged with the rest of the world. And what I mean by that is that whether you like it or not, you need to have a digital persona. And that digital persona needs to be creating value for the world, because if you tap out and you're not visible online, people tend to feel like it's sketch. And if you are online and you're not creating value, people just tend to see that you're worthless, right? And so the reality is your personal brand is now more important than your business brand or your career brand. Okay. You need to have a personal brand. We now know that, even the products that we use today, this is probably the biggest age in history where more people know about the founder of the products before the products themselves. Like I'm using, Facebook. I know the founder of Facebook. I'm using Google. I know the founder of Google, right? I know McDonald's. If I go to McDonald's to buy fast food, I know what the founder of McDonald's. I even know his story and his journey, how he launched McDonald's, right? More and more products that you're using, if you do not know the founder story or how it's come to be, you probably will not use the product. The same thing goes with you. Employers probably won't employ you if you don't know your personal brand history, and businesses, like people won't buy from you if they don't know who you are and why you even launched the business in the first place, right? And so for me, for example, I didn't realize how powerful my personal brand was, because it was my personal brand that got me to not only launch, multiple companies in the past couple of years, but even initiatives like as powerful as the Haiti Tech Summit, right? My personal brand and me being very proudly, authentically Haitian got people to really listen to me when they say like, yo, you're Haitian and you're a big leader in the tech space and you're bringing people together along these two different lines, I will show up. It was a personal brand that was cultivated for years that got me to launch something that changed the entire country, right? And so you're going to see the effects of that, because people now realize the power of individuals. Individuals can literally break an entire economy, and we never had that exponential power like this before, right? That we as individuals have now the capacity and the power that institutional brands only had 10, 20 years ago, right? So we literally did all sign a social contract when it comes to personal branding commitments to each other once social media went live, and it is not ever going to go away. I'm a millennial, so I will tell you, and this is something that's been circulating on the internet. We are the last generation to know what life was like before social media came into play. That is facts. Okay. So it is here to say I'm a mom, and I know my kids will be dealing with social media. Their kids will be dealing with social media until something else evolves. The digital reality that we've all created and curated is here to stay. Okay. So with that said, when you look at these seven major trends with the economy, with the government leadership that's going to happen, with AI, with the knowledge economy, with this personal brand contract that we signed, it's easy to get overwhelmed and not understand how do you position yourself in the market while all of this is happening. And I will tell you, in my journey as a, serial entrepreneur, public speaker, and tech ecosystem leader, I personally started my career in corporate, and many of you who know me know my journey, right? Quit to move to Dubai, launched my first tech company. Within 2 years, that company scaled very rapidly. I made the Forbes list. And my thought leadership as an expert in that field, at the time, I was really a thought leader in emerging market, cultivation, development, and just scale. My speaker career kicked off, right? I was speaking at multiple different engagements. I was connected to a lot of different players. I made many different connections in the media space. I was speaking at multiple different events. Today, I speak at a lot of major events, and I choose which engagements I want to tap into simply because I was able to monetize my knowledge beyond speaking engagements. And it's been crazy flexible for my lifestyle as a mother and wife, and also as a serial entrepreneur. But I will tell you, this entire journey was made possible because I did the next 7 things I'm going to share with you today, because I'm not here just to tell you what trends that I'm seeing. I'm here to help you take action and do the things that not only work for me personally, but do the things that I believe that if you implement today will not only change the outputs that you're trying to get out, right? But also hopefully accelerate your growth and your goals faster, better, and more sustainably. Okay. So I'll start by saying that, fundamentally speaking, personal branding gave me the positioning that I needed to give me many opportunities in this world. Okay. Personal branding, a strong personal brand really helped me get speaking engagements, clients, media features, book deals, awards, partnerships. I was able to launch multiple companies just purely off the my brand capital that I built over the years, right? I'm able to reach a lot more new audiences. I was able to truly, truly, truly live a life worth living simply because I built and cultivated a personal brand that truly helped me shortcut the career success ladder that I wanted to build. Right. And so, with that said, let's talk about the 7 trends that we just discussed and how we could turn it into opportunity. Right. So, with the economic downturn, I know many of you are scared, overwhelmed, what to do. It just, what is the plan and the call to action? And I think it's actually a massive, massive, massive economic opportunity. And the reason why I say that's an economic opportunity, we all know, especially as me as in the tech space, that the biggest millionaires happen during economic downturns, not during economic prosperity, actually, right? During economic turmoil, challenges present the biggest opportunity. And if diversity of income is going to be king for you, don't just chase new trends or do multiple side gigs, hustling from left and right, and not doing anything that's sustainable and scale. Because whenever you find a new trend, it might work for a day, it might work for a week, maybe even a month, but then you're back to square one and you have not progressed your leadership, your brand in any way that creates sustainability long term. My suggestion that you complete a 60 to 90-day challenge for yourself to learn how to launch and monetize your expertise in multiple ways, because your expertise, once you have a certain knowledge, it is with you for life. It doesn't go. You can't lose that. Someone can't take it out of your head and just throw it out. You cannot lose that. But some of the strategies that people are capitalizing on right now are such trash that once you exhaust them, you are back to square one. Turn your knowledge into opportunity and turn this economic downturn into your year to become not just a millionaire, but a future billionaire in this market. Try to leverage this and really think strategically about how to do this properly. The next thing I will say is that regarding AI fatigue. Because people have AI fatigue, you have the opportunity to really leverage AI the right way, right? Obviously, you can use AI tools for ideation and optimization internally. I use it to organize, planning sheets internally, to launch, events internally, to really do logistics and support. But I still create all of my content personally. And when I do use AI, I do obviously customize it. But the point is that I use AI predominantly to keep my internal organizations organized and systematic, and I use my authentic voice for external voices, external audiences all the time. So definitely use AI properly. You'll see the benefits of how you stand out to other people. The second thing I will say is that the leadership fears that many people have can turn into a great leadership strategy for you. See the pros and cons of whatever leadership that may take power within your home country, and see how the public is reacting to it. What are the economic markets saying, right? What are the private markets saying? How it's going to affect your bottom line, and leverage and create. And I always do this: create best case scenario, mid case scenario, and worst case scenario. So that way, no matter what happens, you're ready to go. You're not surprised, right? Because you're going to have fundamentally the opportunity to be able to transition and capitalize on whatever leader takes place come the end of this year. Okay. The next thing, and this one is very dear to my heart, because as an ecosystem builder, I've seen such a downturn in activity, engagement, and just pure love and energy in the tech ecosystem. And many different industries are facing the same type of downturn in community and love and networking. And so I would say ecosystem setbacks could really be a great opportunity for ecosystem building, right? And what I mean by that is that, if there are gaps in the market, right? You could be the person to step in and create opportunity. It's a lot of people don't know that I launched the global startup ecosystem because there was a gap in the market where people weren't serving emerging market entrepreneurs. Everyone was focusing on entrepreneurs in Silicon Valley and the United States, and I was targeting entrepreneurs in the Caribbean, Africa, and the Middle East, where I felt like the most entrepreneurial individuals come from, because it's like, like literally the lifestyle breeds entrepreneurial creativity. I was able to skyrocket our platform very, very quickly because I was serving a need that was just not being met, right? And so be that person to step up and create opportunities for your market. And you'll find that there's a lot of tools available for you to be able to do that. Now, for those of you who are entrepreneurs, innovators who are in the market and you're trying to survive this dry season of, networking and resources, get lean, review your tech stack. We've been doing this internally. Anything that you're not using during the times when things were great, we were using multiple different tech tools and software. We have been knocking them out one by one by one. We are negotiating contracts with vendors, right? If someone was charging for something that we have not optimized, right? Let's say we're using a product and we're only using 30% of the services. And a lot of people do this, right? Can I talk to the vendor? Can I just, is there a smaller package where I could just optimize at 50% or so I can optimize at 70% or 90%? And if there isn't, how do we drop the relationship and move forward in an amicable way, right? You have to negotiate contracts right now, and optimizing your team members. I can't stress this enough. During the startup, revolution, where everyone was able to raise capital a lot easier, right? You were able to have random people come into your company to do the most random things because you were able to afford it. Now, every single member not only has to be more productive, but they have to be able to contribute to the bottom line, become more profitable. That doesn't mean stop sacking everybody that's not productive or profitable, but it means that you need to reassess the leadership structure of your startup company or your business in general, and evaluate, okay, how can we reframe the value proposition of your position to meet the needs that we need today during this economic climate, right? And eventually you're going to start to really work with different ecosystem players to barter, do partnerships, and really get really, really clean and clear on your golden 100 contact list of partners, enablers, vendors that you're going to work with during this economic downturn. And I will tell you, avoid the people who don't know how to work and collaborate freely and fluidly, right? Those are going to be the people that's going to really be a huge drain on your success. Walk away from them immediately and build relationships with the people in your network that are fluid, flexible, resilient, and open to conversation, because the next couple of years is going to require people who are collaborative and able to have real candid conversations. That's what you're going to need to do during this time right now. Okay. Now we talked about content currency, but realistically, you're going to need to really just bite the bullet and create a daily content calendar schedule to be able to produce the content that showcases your thought leadership, showcases your relevancy, showcases your ability to really, really provide value. And the beauty of that, as you practice this content currency in your brand, you're going to find that you're also going to be able to start to generate income for your content. The first couple of years when this happened to me, it transformed my entire perspective on creating valuable content for my community, because not only was I creating value for people who needed it just to get started, but I also was creating valuable content for those who were able to pay a premium to access my thought leadership at scale, right? And so this is going to be very crucial for many of you to really learn how to create a disciplined content calendar schedule that not only works for your community, but also works for you, so everybody wins, because you are now scaling the profits organically, right? And obviously, we also talked about the knowledge economy. And so the knowledge economy is going to be your knowledge money. You are going to need to map out your plan for launching your own knowledge product in 2024. It's not a debate anymore. It's not a conversation. You are going to have to launch at least one knowledge product by this year and learn how to optimize, scale, and market it in 2025 and beyond. And I already told you, during the time when I was, out, for the count, I was able to create a product that really was sustainable for me and was the best strategic decision that I made years ago that I am benefiting from to this day during this economic climate. I'm okay, right? And so it's very, very important that you really prioritize tapping into the multi-trillion dollar knowledge economy that is only growing from here. And last but not least, when it comes to the personal brand, right? It is not a requirement. And take this forced requirement as a great opportunity to build a legacy. I can't stress this enough. It's actually a great thing, right? That it is not a requirement for you to bring a strong personal brand, because you put yourself in a position for true opportunity to really build your career and the narrative around your career the way you actually want to do it, in a way that's systematic, that scales, that is sustainable. And so, with that said, hopefully these 7 trends and insights was very helpful to you today, because these are things that, again, that I've been seeing in the market, and these are the action plans that me and my team have been taking over the past couple months. That's been very fruitful and beneficial to our team, and beneficial to me personally and to my community that I serve. But many of you probably say, okay, what's next? Like, how do I implement this? Christine, this was great. Now I'm aware. Now I know what to do, but where do I even begin? I got you. If you want to learn how to implement this and you're ready to launch your personal brand in 2024, let's connect. I'm doing a 5-day training program for free to help you implement all the secrets that I'm going to share with you on how to launch your personal brand online. Now, here's the thing. I know a lot of people already know that they're supposed to build and launch their personal brand. But you know what people always ask me every single time? Christine, how do I launch? What does that look like? What do I do? And I will tell you, Google it right now. Just Google it right now and give me an answer on the DM if you want to, or comment on on the thread. Give me one person who taught you how, or even directly tells you how to actually launch your personal brand online. You'll find that everyone gives you advice about what to do with your personal brand, how to cultivate your personal brand, but no one tells you how to launch it to your community in a way that gives you immediate results, immediate clients, immediate income. No one tells you how to do that. I'm going to share with you a training series that's going to help you map out the next 6 months so you have a clear path to create a personal brand that attracts paid brand deals and speaking engagements, launching digital products that sell immediately at scale, like I've done before, and ways to diversify your income streams with comprehensive product suite that's going to help you learn how to build products that people want to engage with. Okay. And I'm launching this free 5-day training. So you could click on the link below to have access to this program, right? For you to be able to join me for 5 days straight and learn how to launch your brand. And literally the strategy really is all about launching a personal brand, right? In a market where you give a D-Day and I show you how to plan out that day, right? It's called the virtual launch, right? And that virtual launch is something that I have done several times in my career that has been truly, truly beneficial. I just shared the link for you to sign up to join me, right? This is the secret. For you to launch your brand, you essentially have to pick a day and you plan out that day. There's a countdown series, there's a way to prepare to get people to know about the date of when you're going to launch, and you share with them the thought leadership that you want to put out there front and center, the content that you want to share with them, the product that you're creating for people who want to engage with you and pay premium to engage with you. And then you're able to build on that and scale on that into a multi-figure business, right? And obviously, you got to learn from someone who's been doing it for over 15 years. I've been building and scaling and monetizing my brand in multiple different formats for multiple years. And I will tell you, launching your brand has been the hardest thing for people to do, especially when people are doing transitions in their career, from going from one job to another, from launching a business to not, from becoming a parent to, transitioning to different milestones in their lives. It is a lot, right? Life is crazy, right? So I'm going to help you unleash your personal brand to the world, right? And obviously, the reason why the timing for this is so crucial, based on the 7 trends I just shared with you today, you probably realize that in today's digital economy, you will not succeed without a crafted personal brand. Period. Okay. In a world where traditional markets are faltering, financial stability seems to be like just elusive as hell, right? It's time to shift your perspective, right? And tap into a vast potential of monetizing your expertise at scale. Okay. And I truly believe that your lived experiences, positioned in the right way, can become a major opportunity for you. So hopefully you're ready for this opportunity, because like the stats and the statistics speak for themselves, right? For those of you who are still confused, like 63% of Americans are likely to buy from a person who has built a personal brand, period. right? That's the nature of it. This is the reason why we work with brands of founders that we know. 71% of professionals believe that our strong personal brand leads to increased career opportunities on LinkedIn. Period. People automatically, when they hear of you, they look you up, they research you, right? 77% of consumers are more likely to purchase from a company if its founder has a robust social media presence. So, for those of you who want to tap out, you don't have a strong personal brand, you are losing money, right? And 84% of consumers believe that a company's reputation is influenced by the personal brand of its employees. So people don't even want to work at companies if they don't trust and respect the people that work at those institutions, according to Forbes, right? This is the world that we're living in. If you want to get ready for it, I'm here to help you. Join me on the Your Personal Brand Live launch 5-day training that goes live in 2 weeks. Okay. I'm going to share with you how to do this. The link is in the section below for you to sign up and join. And let's do this. Let's launch your personal brand this year. Let's make the next 6 months a great opportunity for you. Let's make you proud of 2024 and make this year a year of breakthrough, a year of opportunity, a year of growth, a year that you are going to officially launch your personal brand and build a legacy and build the life that you want to create in the way that you want to create it. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for joining me today. It was truly a pleasure and an honor to have all of you for today's session. I hope that you found it useful. Definitely DM me or send me some, love and comments, reactions, anything that you want to ask. And I'll look forward to answering those questions and engaging with you guys offline on the chat feed. Thank you so much, everyone. Bye-bye.